Bottoms up, hey, what's in your cup? Got a couple bottles, but a couple ain't enough. Bottles up, bottoms up, throw your hands up. Tell security we about to tear this club. Like, what? What's happening, man? Been a long time, hasn't it? Hey, well, it's Friday. I don't know, January 21st or something like that. Been busy doing doctor's appointments and stuff. But anyway, back on here. And this is the question of the week. I know I missed last week's, and I apologize. I'm sorry, but you know, things come up, things happen. And this one, this question of the week, is, you've probably already seen in the title, is you know, promoters, and are they all bad? And if they're not all bad, who isn't? You know, who doesn't have something on them to do that? And you know, we'll get to some of this later. The two that I'm going to go with, or to start out with, is obviously Don King and Bob Arum. And when you think of these guys, you think of the Rumble in the Jungle with Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. You think the War with Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hearns. You think the Thrilla in Manila, again with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. You think of the Brawl in Montreal, and that was with Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. So, and a lot of these fights come to mind the second you say these guys. Or even if you don't know who promoted the fight, you know that fight. Like if I said, Rumble in the Jungle, Rumble, young man, rumble. Yeah, everybody would know, dude, that was Ali and Foreman, baby, you know. And, you know, he's punching the... Anyway, it was bad. But, you know, King was behind that, you know, and then with Arum, when you think of the war with Hagler and Hearns, that 3 rounds of probably the most devastating boxing you've ever seen in your life. It was like the Gotti Ward trilogy, or trilogy, crushed into 3 minutes in that fight. There was more talent in that 3 minutes than there was, you know, I'm saying talent-wise, those guys were off the charts. So. And then you compare these two guys, and they couldn't be more polar opposites. One was an illegal bookie. I don't think I have to say who it was. And one was a Harvard law grad. One went to jail for second-degree murder for stomping a man to death in the street. I don't know who that was either. I'm not going to say because I don't want him to do it to me. And the other one, you know, worked for the United States justice system. You know? And one is incredibly known for actual charity work. And that's Don King, believe it or not. He's also known to rip off more fighters than you can shake a stick at, you know, with Mike Tyson and Chris Bird and Lennox Lewis. You know, pretty much anybody that's been ripped off says, well, it was Don King. And, of course, Bob Arum, you know, Dana White is... Oh, I probably shouldn't have said his name, because this video will probably get pulled now. Douchebag Willie, you know, said that Bob Arum is the direct cause of the death of boxing. You have Don King, who has promoted Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Julio Cesar Chavez, Marco Antonio Barrera, Larry Holmes, Felix Trinidad. Then you have Bob Arum, who has promoted Marvin Hagler, Manny Pacquiao, Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Michael Carbajal, Eric Morales, Oscar De La Hoya, you know, millions of other Mexican and Latino fighters. Don King has had over 500 world title fights he's promoted. Bob Arum has promoted over 400 world title fights. Don King has made over 100 fighters $1 million. Bob Arum had the first $100 million fighter in Sugar Ray Leonard. So for all the bad they've done, you know, think about all the great fights that they've put on and they've promoted that we've got to sit back and watch. And then we sit back when certain fighters don't get to fight, and then we just say, oh, they're crap for the sport. They're horrible for the sport. Are they bad for the sport? Let me know overall. When you think about the big picture on everything they've done, Don King put 8 title fights together on 1 fight card, which broke his record of 6 title fights on 1 fight card. Yo, so when you think about that, when you wrap all that in your brain, you know, are they bad for the sport? And if they are, give me a promoter that is good for the sport. Is Frank Warren good for the sport? And he kept us away from getting to see Calzaghe fighting fighting the greats earlier in his career. See what I'm saying? So please let me know of a promoter that is almost the equivalent of these guys, that's out there, that's actually seen in a good light when you start thinking about it. Okay? That's just something I want you to think about. As for the last question of the week, I'm going to review that one. I was asking about, titles, and should we just throw them away? They're alphabet titles. And the consensus was, bring it down to one. And I think most of you like the WBC title because it's green. It looks nice. You put it in shiny. That kind of thing. And keep the divisions, even though there's like 743 of them. But knock it down to one title. Don't have it as a... don't let the founding bodies commit to that and pick out who it is. Let the company or let the people vote on who is number one, because ultimately that's what happens anyway. There's been a million heavyweight champions, but when you think about it, you recognize one guy usually comes to mind, and it depends on what side of the tracks you're from. Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali, things like that. So when you think about that, probably Muhammad Ali, Vladimir Klitschko's coming up the charts. So think about it and get back to me. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. Subscribe, and let me know. Let me know who's the. Let me know about the promoters. Who's bad? Who isn't bad? Okay? This is worldwide, baby. We're worldwide. All right. Wait, it's Bigragu. I'm out.